Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto sent to Unova region Pokémon. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by CrimsonKyuubiSage, link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter start. Pocket monsters, Pokémon for short, are strange and unique creatures that inhabit the world. For thousands of years, they have coexisted alongside humanity. Many see these creatures as friends and partners, used to help with various tasks from constructing buildings to exploration. Most, however, use them to compete in battles against other Pokémon as Pokémon trainers. Many towns have a gym run by a strong and experienced trainer known as a gym leader. Other trainers may challenge a gym leader, and if the gym leader is defeated in battle, he or she awards them a Pokémon League badge. Above the level of gym leaders are the Elite Four trainers and the Pokémon League champion. Each region has their own, and each is considered the cream of the crop and can only be challenged if a trainer has met the requirements, such as winning 8 badges. Should a trainer defeat other trainers at this level, it is not uncommon for him or her to be offered a place in these high ranks. However, just as there are many trainers with noble goals and lawful methods, there are also corrupt trainers, including a number of villainous teams, ranging from nearly harmless to the most wanted by the law. Fortunately, the majority of these teams have been kept in check, turned a new leaf, or have suddenly vanished, hiding in the darkness, allowing the light to revel in its victory. But even the most brilliant lights eventually flicker and die. And when they are gone, darkness will return. So you may prepare your guardians, build your monuments to a so-called free world, but take heed, there will be no victory for the light in this war, the darkness will prevail. But perhaps the key to victory, to preserve the future, to stop people like you, lies in the simpler things that you've long forgotten. Things that require a smaller, more honest soul. Somewhere over the Icarus Ocean. You know what we have to do. I know. That's what scares me. What if we fail? The future is not set. There is no fate but what we make for ourselves. So make it count, brother. The plane shook with slight turbulence, waking the hooded man from his slumber. Good afternoon, passengers. In a few minutes we will be beginning our descent into the Unova town airport. Please fasten all seatbelts and return all Pokémon to their Pokeballs. Thank you for choosing Jet Firo as your choice of airlines. The captain said over the speakers. Looks like we've made it, Z, the hooded man said, turning to look outside the window. Welcome to Unova. Unova town, Unova. A few hours passed, and the sun had moved higher in the sky as the day progressed. Well, that went easier than expected. Walking away from the nearby house was a young woman that stood at 5'9". This beautiful woman was Juniper, the Pokémon professor of the Unova region. It was her job to research the origins of Pokémon, distribute Pokédexes and occasionally provide newly minted trainers with their first Pokémon, the latter being the reason why she was at the house she just left. Aurea was not, in any sense of the word, unattractive. Quite the opposite, actually. She wore red earrings, a white lab jacket, a white V-neck shirt that showed off her high E-cup-sized breasts, a science skirt that stopped halfway down her thighs and revealed her smooth legs, and white running shoes with red horizontal stripes. Taking a look around, Aurea smiled at how perfect everything seemed to be. The sun shone brightly as flocks of pie doves flew high in the sky, a light gust of wind gently swayed the grass below, it seemed as if all was peaceful in the world. Bam! The nearby house shook with the sound of fighting, causing Aurea to sweat drop as she realized what had happened. Did they really have a Pokémon battle inside the house? Aurea thought before letting out a sigh and continued walking along. Those three have a lot of potential, I have a feeling I'll be hearing more of them in the future, she mentally said, only to stumble slightly when another thought came into her head. Wait a minute, wasn't there a fourth trainer? Aurea mumbled, a comical exclamation mark appearing over her head. Oh right. She exclaimed, nearly doubling her speed as she ran towards her lab. I hope I'm not late. She muttered as she ran. Professor Juniper's lab. Slam! Aurea came rushing through the doors of the building, spooking her assistants by her sudden appearance and her slightly disheveled state. Professor Juniper? One of her assistants called out. I didn't arrive too late, did I? Aurea asked. Wheel, another assistant said, scratching the back of his head with an awkward chuckle. Oh, Arceus, no, Aurea mumbled. He just left 15 minutes ago. We gave him his Pokédex, trainer card, and 5 Pokeballs. The second assistant stated. Which way did he go? Aurea questioned, giving a manic look at her assistants. He said he would make his way to our Route 1, the first assistant replied. Not even a second later, Aurea was out the door, leaving a dust cloud in the shape of her body in her wake. I'm starting to worry about the professor's sanity, the second assistant muttered. Route 1. BV. The Pokémon's cry caused a lone eye to snap open, revealing a cerulean blue orb. Lying against a nearby tree was a young man that stood at 5'6" with spiky, yet slightly flat blonde hair, slightly tanned skin, 3 whisker-like marks on his cheeks, and a dark eye patch over his left eye. He wore a dark blue side-zipper hoodie with long sleeves and a black hood and cuffs, black pants, a black sling backpack, and strange futuristic wristbands and boots. The blonde remained silent as he looked around, finding his EV companion laying on top of his chest with its tail wagging. EV. The EV exclaimed, licking his face in affection. "Thanks, Z," the blonde said, gently rubbing the top of the EV's head. Z yipped cheerfully once more before quickly making its way into the blonde's hood. "Let's get going." "Wait." Aurea called out, running towards the blonde at speeds that would make an Arcanine jealous. The blonde man didn't even bother turning around, only letting out an exasperated sigh. "I haven't done the trainer initiation speech yet," she said in between breaths as she caught up to the blonde man. "Can I help you?" The blonde man asked, turning around to face Aurea and inadvertently striking a pose with the sun at such an angle and the wind gently blowing by, giving him a rugged handsome appearance. Well, are you by chance the 4th new trainer I was supposed to meet with?" Aurea asked, a small tint of red spreading across her cheeks. "Yes, I suppose I am." The blonde man said before extending his hand to the Pokémon professor. "My name is Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. Aurea Juniper, but most people call me Professor Juniper." Aurea replied, shaking the hand and regaining some of her composure. How did you get out here so fast?" "My assistants told me you only left the lab a few minutes ago. I'm a fast walker." The blonde man, Naruto, replied, "Okay, how come you didn't wait for me to get back to the lab to give you your stuff? Hey? Why are you walking away?" Aurea comically yelled, noticing how Naruto was blatantly ignoring her in favor of walking away. "Time is of the essence," Naruto whispered, only to deadpan when he felt a delicate hand grab the back of his jacket and pull him back, so he came face to face with a pissed-off Aurea. "No. You have to meet your fellow new trainers and hey." Aurea yelled, noticing Naruto beginning to walk away again. "Are you even listening to me?" "Yes, and I find it irrelevant concerning my current goal," Naruto replied, turning to look at Aurea with his one good eye. This, in turn, caused Aurea to flinch slightly under his gaze. His eye, contrary to its bright and cheerful color, held an emotionless glaze that she had never seen before from someone so young. It slightly unnerved the young professor. "This is for your own good. You can't go around alone your entire journey. No matter what it is you're trying to do, you can't do it alone." Aurea exclaimed as she grabbed Naruto's arm and attempted to drag him off, keyword being attempted. Aurea began to struggle with moving Naruto, not noticing how his boots had a light blue glow at the bottom. "EV. Z berated, popping out of Naruto's hood. "Wah!" Aurea exclaimed, jumping back in surprise. "Fine, Z. If you say so." Naruto mumbled, the light blue glow in his boots disappearing. "That's an EV." Aurea exclaimed. "Yes. And this is a hoodie jacket and that is the ground and up there is the sky." Naruto retorted sarcastically. A tick mark appeared on Aurea's face before she took a deep breath and calmed down. "I'm sorry, it's just that, well, EV isn't an easy to find Pokémon in Unova. I presume you know about the evolutions if you have him?" Aurea asked. Naruto remained silent, only lightly glaring at Aurea. As the young Pokémon professor unconsciously took a step back, hand clenched over her heart. Then it hit Aurea head on like an onyx. "Oh. My. Arceus. You're a cootier." Aurea exclaimed, causing Naruto and Z to sweat drop, though the former's expression remained emotionless. "Irrelevant." Naruto retorted, causing Aurea to release a kawaii. "Come this way, my little cootier." Aurea chirped cheerfully, grabbing Naruto's hand and dragging him off back to the lab, all the while the blonde was comically flailing around in the wind. As Naruto was tossed around like a rag doll caught in the beak of an unpheasant, a lone thought entered his mind, one that was shared by an old friend of his. Troublesome. Professor Juniper's lab. "Seriously?" A young man with jet black hair muttered. He stood at 5'7", wearing a blue coat and a white shirt with an orange Y-shaped pattern, a black belt with silver clasp, black dress pants, blue shoes, and spectacles with orange rims. He had very pale skin, black eyes, and a small tuft of hair that stuck up from the top of his head. "Oh, relax a bit, Chirin-kun. I'm positive that the professor has a very good reason for not being here," a young woman with short blonde hair stated. She stood at 5'4" with light skin, D-cup breasts, and emerald green eyes that were protected by a pair of red-rimmed glasses. She wore a cream-colored low-cut form-fitting shirt, underneath which she wore a black sports bra. On top of all this, she wore an open orange jacket, a green spaghetti strap purse, green knee-length shorts, orange shoes, and a green beret with a cream-colored bow. "I just want to start our Pokémon journey already. What could Professor Juniper possibly be doing right now? I wonder if she's flicking the bean, so to speak," another young woman said. She was the shortest one of the group, standing at 5'3" with dark brown hair, blue eyes, light skin, and, much to her chagrin, when she compared herself to the other woman of the group, mid-C-cup breasts. She wore a white t-shirt, over which she wore an open black vest with no sleeves. She also wore blue short shorts, black sneakers with red laces, a red satchel, and a white cap with a pink version of a Pokeball logo on it. "Tauko-chan." The busty blonde woman exclaimed, her face flushed in embarrassment. "Don't say that." "Fine, I won't say," flicking the bean. The brunette woman, Tauko, conceded. The busty blonde released a sigh of relief, not noticing the large grin spreading across Tauko's face. "How about diddle the skittle jill off finger diddling bruise the beaver buff the muff butter the biscuit club the clam deck the nun dial o on the pink telephone," patting the little man in the canoe. "Tauko-chan." The blonde woman exclaimed, steam coming off of her face. "Oh, lighten up, Belle-chan. Let loose and have some fun, right Chirin?" Tauko asked, only to look around and find that Chirin was missing. "Chirin?" She called out again. Both girls suddenly heard a groaning sound and looked down, only to find the black-haired man, Chirin, comically knocked out on the ground with swirls in his eyes, steam coming out of his ears, a red blush on his face, and a nosebleed. "Chirin-kun." The blonde woman, Belle, called out. Chirin mumbled, still in a dazed state. "Well, my mission has been accomplished. But seriously, where is Professor Juniper?" Tauko asked. "Come on." "Why, because I said so. Damn it, you're the most stubborn new trainer I've ever met. And you're the most stubborn professor I've ever met." Was that sarcasm? No. Chirin, Belle, and Tauko couldn't help but sweat drop as they heard the incoming voices, one of which they identified as Aurea's. "Just hurry up. We're almost back at the lab. I just left here a few minutes ago AGGGHH." What followed next would forever be the second scariest sight that any of the three trainers would ever see. Bam soaring through the air with an emotionless expression, yet comical tears flowing from his eyes, was Naruto. And following right behind him was a pissed-off Aurea Juniper. "You're going to fucking do this? Or so help me, not even Arceus will save you from my wrath." Aurea yelled. "Okay." Naruto replied meekly, the fear he was feeling unexpressed by his facial reaction. "Good." Aurea said, her mood completely changing with that one response. "Sorry I'm late guys. Originally, there was supposed to be 4 new trainers today and then you decided to drag my ass back here." Naruto added. "So I decided to gather all 4 of you to start your journeys together." Aurea finished, a deathly aura surrounding her that was primarily directed at Naruto. "Now would you kindly introduce yourself to the others?" Naruto remained silent. That is, until his gaze met Aurea's. "I said would you kindly introduce yourself to the others?" As he stared into her green cyan orbs, all he could see was the fiery pits of hell that promised doom and despair if he did not comply. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto was able to get 2 words out of his mouth before Tauko got up and close to him. "Nice to meet you Naruto, the name's Tauko Shiro, but you can call me Tauko-chan. The blonde booby chick is Bianca Mendamika, we call her Belle, and the grumpy guy over there is Chirin Haiju there, introductions are done. Can we move this along now?" Tauko said in one breath, sucking in a great amount of oxygen by the end of her statement. "Okay. Right, give me a second," Aurea said, fumbling around with her lab coat until she pulled out a small cue card. "Ahem, hi there. I've been waiting for you young people. Let me introduce myself again. My name is Professor Juniper." "Yes, we know that already." Naruto deadpanned. "I know that. But today is a day to remember always, so it's best to behave with some formality. That being so, once again, my name is Professor Juniper and I am researching when and how the creatures called Pokémon came into existence. I can already tell that you 3 have had a Pokémon battle." Aurea commented, pointing at Tauko, Belle, and Chirin. "Oh yeah. The undefeated streak lives on." Tauko exclaimed, pumping her fist into the air before doing a double take. "Wait a minute. There was only 3 Pokémon that you sent us. What Pokémon did you give Naruto?" "She didn't give me a Pokémon. I have one already." Naruto replied. "EV." Z popped out of Naruto's hoodie yipped excitedly. "This is my partner, an EV by the name of Z. He's been with me ever since I was 10. Naruto stated. "Kawaii." Belle exclaimed, attempting to jump towards the Kawaii EV. Naruto was unprepared for the feminine assault and was quickly knocked off of his feet and smothered by the blonde woman's extravagant assets. "That is such an adorable little EV. Life slowly leaving me," Naruto muttered, his voice muffled vibrations in between the massive mounds, which in turn caused Belle to let out a small moan. "B?" Z called out, tilting his head sideways in curiosity, causing Belle to let out another Kawaii. Belle-chan. I think Naruto needs oxygen to breath." Tauko called out, breaking Belle out of her trance. "Beep." Belle exclaimed, finally taking notice of what she was doing to Naruto. Faster than lightning, the busty blonde quickly got off of Naruto, suddenly becoming incredibly shy as she avoided her fellow blonde's gaze, a blush apparent on her face as she poked her index fingers together. "Ayu Umwella. An EV? Such a rare and unique Pokémon," and Unova Chirin stated. "You have no idea," Naruto muttered. "What was that?" Tauko asked. "Can we get on with this?" Naruto questioned, redirecting the conversation elsewhere. "Ah yes. Now, where was I?" Aurea started, only for Tauko to jump in front of her, one hand balled into a fist while the other was gripping her Pokeball. "Battle me!" Tauko exclaimed, pointing at Naruto. "Professor?" Naruto pleaded. "Absolutely not." Aurea exclaimed, causing Naruto to let out a sigh of relief. "I saw the aftermath of your battle inside your house. No way in hell are we doing that inside here. Take it outside." At this, Naruto facephalted. "Right. Naruto. Get your ass outside." Tauko exclaimed, grabbing Naruto by the back of his hood and dragging him outside. "Do I really have to?" Naruto complained. "Yes. Yes you do." Tauko exclaimed. "Why?" Because why?" Because. I'll give you a prize if you win." "What kind of prize?" "A super secret prize." "Troublesome." Chapter end. Chapter start. Outside Professor Juniper's lab. The wind gently blew across the grassy field as Naruto stood off to one side and Tauko stood in the opposite side, the former looking like he didn't want to be there and the latter looking on with a fiery determination. "Is this really necessary?" Naruto questioned. "Yes. Yes it is. For the billionth time, yes." Tauko exclaimed. "But you haven't said it a billion times." "Only 3 times." Naruto stated. "Ah. Come on out, Mai." Tauko exclaimed, throwing her Pokeball out. In a flash of light, a female Snivy appeared. Snivy was a bipedal reptilian Pokémon with a slender build. Most of its body was green with a cream underside. A yellow stripe ran down the length of its back and tail, and it had yellow markings around its large eyes. 2 curved yellow structure that resembled leaves or small wings protruded from its shoulders and bent backwards. Its slender arms had 3 fingers, while its tiny feet had no digits whatsoever. It had a large palmate leaf with 3 prongs on the end of its tail. "Snivy!" Mai exclaimed, grinning and striking a battle pose. "B?" Z yipped questionably, popping out of Naruto's hood in curiosity before his eyes settled on Mai. "EV. EVVV." He exclaimed, yipping excitedly to his trainer. "Are you sure you want to?" Naruto asked. "VE." Z replied. "Alright then." Naruto conceded, Z jumping out of his jacket and down onto the ground, getting into a fighting stance that indicated he was ready to battle. The battle between Naruto Uzumaki and Tauko Shiro of Nuvema Town is about to commence. "Ichi nai Sanhajim." Aurea exclaimed, throwing her hands down to signify the start of the fight. "Mai, use tackle." Tauko exclaimed, her Pokémon charging forward towards ZZ. Naruto said, both Pokémon and trainer sharing a silent conversation and a nod. Suddenly, without warning, Z swerved around in a circle on the ground, kicking up a cloud of dust that shrouded the Pokémon from view. "Sand attack." Belle exclaimed. By the time the cloud of dust dissipated, Z was nowhere to be seen, catching both Tauko and Mai off guard. "What?" "Sniv." Tauko. Mai called out questionably, the female Snivy looking around for her opponent. "Now." Naruto muttered, Z popping out of the ground right behind Mai. "Swift." He called out. Z opened his mouth, firing out several star-like projectiles that impacted against Mai. Tauko exclaimed. "Oh my. That Naruto fellow is clever." Chirin stated. "What do you mean, Chirin-kun?" Belle asked. "That EV of his, Z if I heard correctly, knows the move dig. What makes it even more special is that Naruto-san didn't need to call out his command to Z, meaning that they have a deep bond as trainer and Pokémon." Chirin explained. "Wow," Belle mumbled, observing the battle before turning her attention to Naruto, his cool and calm collective demeanor, making her heart skip a beat. "Go underground again, Z," Naruto said, Z doing as told and burrowing back into the ground using dig. "Grr Mai. Keep an eye out for Z." Tauko yelled, getting a nod from the female Snivy. Mai tensed up, prepared for Z to pop up out of anywhere at any moment. "Now, Z," Naruto called out, his EV popping up out of the ground to the left of Mai. "Use Vine Whip." Tauko exclaimed. 2 vine-like tendrils shot out of Mai, their current trajectory aiming at ZZ, substitute pattern Delta. Naruto exclaimed. The vine slammed into Z, but instead of crying out in pain, the EV disappeared in a puff of smoke. What? The Tauko questioned, only for her eyes to widen as Z appeared right behind Mai. "Mai. Keep using Vine Whip." The female Snivy did as her trainer told her, twisting and turning to slam the vines into Z, only to receive the same results. Every time Mai slammed a Vine Whip into Z, the EV vanished into a puff of smoke. "Wait a second, Mai. Stop using Vine Whip." Tauko exclaimed, causing Mai to stop her onslaught. Not even a second later, Z dissipated into a puff of smoke. So you figured it out. Naruto stated. Z, quick attack. Amidst a cloud of smoke, the real Z jumped out, striking Mai with a quick attack. Sneev. Mai exclaimed. Mai. Tako cried out, watching as her Snivy fell down to the ground unconscious. Tako's Snivy is unable to battle. The winner is Naruto Uzumaki. Oria yelled. You did a great job, Z, Naruto said, kneeling down and affectionately rubbing Z on his head. The EV yipped excitedly before crawling up Naruto's arm, making his way into the blonde's hood. Ah geez, are you alright, Mai? Tako questioned, running over to her fallen Pokémon and cradling the grass Pokémon in her arms. Sniv Snivy. Mai replied weakly. Oh thank Arceus. Tako exclaimed, hugging the Pokémon even tighter. A shadow suddenly blocked the sun's rays from her perception, causing her to look up and find Naruto standing over her with his hand extended to her. Good battle. Naruto stated, the corner of his lip twitching up slightly. Thanks, you too. Tako replied, taking Naruto's hand before he hoisted her up on her feet. Wow. That was an awesome battle. Belle exclaimed, running up to Tako and Naruto. Indeed. That's one special EV you have there, Naruto-san. Chirin stated. You have no idea, Naruto muttered. What was that? Tako asked. Alrighty. Now that you've gotten the battling out of your system, can we please move on with this before we run out of daylight? Oria interrupted. Right. Let's move this along. Naruto stated. Inside Professor Juniper's lab. Well, concerning you three, Tako, Belle, Chirin, there's a reason why I gave all of you Pokémon Oria started. It's for the Pokédex, right? Chirin questioned. Pokédex? Belle queried. I'm astonished. Nice work, Chirin. You've already studied Pokémon extensively, haven't you? Oria questioned. Still, let me explain everything from the beginning for everyone's sake. She said, grabbing Naruto by his hood as he attempted to leave. The Pokédex is a high-tech device that automatically records the Pokémon you encounter. So, I want you four to visit many places and meet all of the Pokémon in the Unova region. This is my request. She stated. Tako, Belle, Chirin, Naruto, you'll go on an adventure to complete the Pokédex, will you not? Okay. Belle exclaimed cheerfully before doing a double take. I mean yes, Professor. Thank you very much. Chirin replied, giving a small bow. Because of you, I can become a Pokémon trainer, exactly as I've always wished. Hell yeah. Let's do this thing. Tako exclaimed. I don't have much of a choice, do I? Naruto asked rhetorically, only to receive a curt nope. From Oria. All of you, thanks. You have given me the best possible answer. Oria exclaimed, handing 3 Pokédexes to Tako, Belle, and Chirin. Do all of you know how to meet and catch Pokémon, or do you need me to show you? I know already. Naruto stated, attempting to walk away, only to be stopped once again by Oria. Good. Then you won't mind showing the others how to then? Oria replied cheerfully. Yes, I would mind, Naruto said. Great. You'll show them. Please go to Route 1 for the demonstration. Good luck. Oria exclaimed, practically pushing the 4 newly minted trainers out the doors of her lab. Troublesome. Naruto mumbled as the doors were slammed shut. A few minutes passed before Oria slumped against the doors, releasing an exhausted sigh as she rubbed her temples. Is everything alright, Professor? One of her assistants asked. The person in question was a man of average height and build, standing at 5'8" with black hair that he kept in a ponytail, dark eyes and a scar that ran across the bridge of his nose. He wore a black shirt and blue jeans underneath a white lab coat, along with dark shoes and a pair of rectangular glasses. Iruka-san. I need you to get in contact with that police girl you used to know. What was her name? Oria questioned. You mean Maria-chan? Iruka suggested. Yes. That's what her name was. Oria exclaimed. I need you to call her up for a favor. What kind of favor are you talking about? Iruka questioned. Just call her. Oria said. Alright. Just give me a sec. Iruka conceded, waving his hands defensively and making his way over to one of the nearby monitor screens. Good. Oria replied. Hello? A new voice called out. Maria-chan. Can you hear me? Iruka asked, the monitor screen springing to life and revealing Officer Maria Jenny. Maria was, as her last name implied, a member of the Jenny family, a family which consisted of near-identical female relatives that acted as the main police force for the regions of the Pokémon world. Maria was a beautiful woman with teal hair that had orange streaks and was held in a low fanned-out ponytail. What set her apart from the majority of the other Officer Jenny family was her eyes, which were a heterochromatic set consisting of an amber color in her right eye and a chocolate brown in her left eye. Iruka-kun. Is that you? Maria questioned, stuttering slightly with a small blush on her face. Maria-chan. It's good to see you. Iruka exclaimed. Why you, T2, Iruka-kun? Maria stated. I'm afraid this isn't a social call, unfortunately. I need to ask a favor of you, well, rather, my boss does. Haruka stated, scratching the back of his head. You have profiles on everyone in the Unova region, correct? Aurea questioned, causing Maria's eyes to narrow. Yes, but most are general traits and some background information. Why? Maria queried. I need information on one Naruto Uzumaki. Aurea replied. Naruto Uzumaki? Maria repeated. Yeah, he's a new trainer that I just met whose psyche somewhat concerns me. Aurea explained. You do realize that this would be a violation of trust and privacy, right? Maria questioned. I'm quite aware of that. But something seems off about him. Aurea stated. Well, what's in it for me? Maria asked. What do you want? Aurea questioned. Well, Maria muttered, a hue of red spreading across her face as her gaze fell upon Haruka. It then hit Aurea like a full-on collision with a Snorlax. Maria had it bad for him. Aurea grinned slyly. She could use this in her favor. Well, I'm positive we can't really discuss something like this over the phone, so why not in person? I'll send Haruka in my stead to meet you at, maybe Cafe Sonata. Just the two of you? Aurea suggested, causing Haruka and Maria to blush. Just Haruka started. The two of us, Maria finished. Yes. You've got yourself a deal, I mean it's a deal, she said, reeling in her enthusiasm. Haruka muttered. Great. You two will meet in a week's time. Aurea said cheerfully, the monitor screen turning black as the call was ended. With Maria. A sigh escaped Maria's lips as the call was cut, followed by a girlish squeal. Maria stood at 5'4", and unlike her other relatives in the Unova region, she wore the Kanto region uniform. A reminder to herself of her roots. Something the matter, Maria? A new voice called out. Maria turned around to see a tall man, her senior officer. Standing at 6'2" with shaggy dark brown hair, a trimmed beard, and dark brown eyes. He wore a black trench coat, underneath which he wore a grey turtleneck shirt, black pants, a dark grey belt, and an Unova police badge around his neck. Arale-sama. I didn't see you there. Maria exclaimed. It's fine, really. Arale replied, waving his hand dismissively. Who were you talking with? Oh, just an old friend of mine, Maria replied. By the way, do we have anything on a Naruto Uzumaki? I swear I've heard that name from somewhere before. Naruto Uzumaki? Arale repeated, a strange glint appearing in his eyes that went unnoticed by Maria. Yes, I do believe I've heard something of him before. Why, well, apparently, he's just starting out in the Unova region, and Aurea is worried about his mental stability. Maria stated. Those were her exact words. Arale questioned, causing Maria to shrug her shoulders. Not exactly, but I understood what she was getting at. Maria replied. This is a pressing matter, Arale mumbled. Very well, if it's a request from Juniper, I guess we could assist really. Thanks, Arale-sama. Maria exclaimed. No problem, Arale said before walking off. No problem at all, he muttered, a dark grin spreading across his face. Chapter end. Chapter start. Route 1. Hold up. Tauko exclaimed. What now? Naruto asked, a tick mark appearing on his face. We all made a pact that if we're starting our journey together, we all have to take our first step at the same time. Where are you going? Belle questioned, noticing how Naruto was walking away. I'm not a part of your pact. When you three are done, I'll be up ahead. Naruto replied, walking forward with a strong gust of wind sweeping the area, nearly causing Belle's beret to fly off and a few leaves to fly off the trees. Okay, here we go. Chirin exclaimed. 1-2 Belle continued 3. Tauko finished, all three trainers stepping forward in unison. Oh. I wonder what will happen. Isn't this so exciting? Belle exclaimed, bouncing up and down slightly in enthusiasm. It sure is. Now, let's catch up with Naruto-san. Chirin said, walking forward in search of Naruto. Speaking of the unsocial blonde, where is he? Tauko asked. Still mad that he stopped your undefeated record? Chirin questioned, causing Tauko to huff in annoyance and turn her head away. No. That didn't count. Tauko exclaimed, I'll take that as a yes. Chirin stated. With Naruto. Z's cries broke Naruto out of his stupor, his blank gaze being replaced with alertness, and his feet, which had not stopped walking since talking with Tauko, Belle, and Chirin, stopped dead in their tracks. The blonde hummed curiously. Z protested, causing Naruto to sigh and grab his head. I know, Z. But we have to do this, otherwise they'll become suspicious. Naruto stated. Suddenly, without warning, Naruto tensed up. 5 seconds later, the blonde jumped back, just in time to avoid a purple and cream blur pounce on his previous location, striking up a cloud of dust in the process. Audino. Stepping out of the smoke cloud was an Audino, a shiny Audino at that. Audino was a bipedal purple and cream Pokémon with oval, dark green eyes that stood at 307. The top of its head, its back and arms were purple, while the lower half of its face, body and ears were cream-colored, as well as its front and fingers. The patterning of purple and cream on its chest resembled a jacket. There were 3 digits on its hands and 2 on its feet, and it had a puffy, white tuft for a tail. Audino had floppy ears with thin curled extensions on the underside. What stood out about this Audino, however, was the pink, cream, and red-colored orb that hung on a cord around its neck. An Audino with an Audinite, Naruto muttered. This one must be an alpha. He thought, closing his eyes as Z jumped out of his jacket and got into a fighting stance. A faint blue aura, nearly invisible to the naked eye, appeared around Naruto as he took a deep breath and opened his eyes, a bright blue fire dancing around in his cerulean orbs. Evu, and why did you attack us? Z asked, his dialect becoming comprehensible to his blonde trainer. Did I stutter? I am Saisho of the forest. The aura coming from you and your pet has caused quite the ruckus in with my group. My own younglings who have yet to learn how to properly control their auras were spooked. I cannot allow you to disturb my family like this. The Audino, now identified as Saisho, exclaimed. First of all, he's not my pet, he's my partner. Naruto started, wasn't, referring to the lad, human. Saisho interrupted, spitting out the word human, as if it left a bad taste in his mouth. Secondly, we are but travelers. We'll hopefully be out of your hair before the day's end. Naruto stated. Humph. How do I know that you'll keep your word? Saisho questioned. I swear on my own being, I swear on my family name. Naruto said, his gaze meeting Saisho's own. You're strange. I've only heard of a single human in these lands with a similar ability, Saisho stated. Gropius, yes, I know. Naruto finished, causing Saisho's eyes to narrow. Listen, I don't have much time left, so I must ask a favor of you. Of Tauko, Belle, and Chirin. How could he have gotten this far? He was walking for fuck's sake. Tauko cursed, stomping her foot in frustration. Tauko-chan. Language. Belle exclaimed. Oh my bad, I wasn't thinking of the children. Oh wait. There aren't any fucking children here. Tauko said, sarcasm present in her voice. Tauko-chan. Belle yelled. Fuck eddy fuck. Tauko yelled. Would you speak up? I don't think they heard you in Castelia City. Naruto called out, his aura vanishing faster than the 3 trainers could notice. Naruto-kun. Naruto-san. Belle Chirin exclaimed. Oh bite me. Tauko exclaimed, her face flushed in embarrassment. Oh. Is something wrong? You just bit me. You said bite me, did you not? But you erg. The sigh escaped Naruto's lips as he turned and began walking away, leaving a comically crying Tauko with a bite mark on her right forearm and a terrified Chirin and Belle. Follow me. I have to find a wild Pokémon for the demonstration. Naruto said, not bothering to look back to see if the others were following him. Audino. The familiar Pokémon cry resonated throughout the clearing. A regular Audino shot out into the light, a familiar orb hanging around its neck, the sight of which reminded Naruto of the deal he made with Saisho. Flashback start. Excuse me? You want to what? Saisho exclaimed. I wish to take one of your own as a partner by means of combat. Naruto repeated. What? Saisho questioned, slightly confused by the blonde's choice of words. I want to have one of your group accompany me and Z on our journey, but also have a battle to deceive some other humans. Naruto replied. And why the hell should I? Saisho asked. The blonde responded by kneeling down to Saisho's level and pressing his forehead against his own. Both Naruto and Saisho were silent for a good minute, a silent conversation being shared between man and Pokémon. Now do you understand? Naruto asked. Yeah. From the looks of it, you're going to need all the help you can get. Saisho replied. My firstborn, Ieyasu, has been itching for an adventure anyways. I suppose this would be the best way for her to go on that adventure and have her safety somewhat guaranteed. Thank you, Saisho-san. Naruto said, standing up and bowing his head slightly in gratitude. Give me a few minutes to prepare and say goodbye to my little girl. Saisho said, walking away from the blonde and Z. Do you think it will be enough? Z questioned a few minutes later. I don't know, Naruto replied, his aura flickering slightly. I don't know. Flashback end. An Audino? Chirin exclaimed. Perfect. Naruto said, turning his head slightly towards the others. The Pokédex's pages update automatically whenever you meet a Pokémon and is set up so that you obtain even more information when you catch a Pokémon or something like that. He finished. Ready ZV. Z yipped. To make this clear, I'm going to demonstrate how to catch a Pokémon. Naruto stated, turning his attention to the Audino. Z, use double team. Z charged forward, creating 15 duplicates of himself that moved in unison, all circling around the Audino in an effort to create confusion. Unfortunately, thanks to Audino's natural-born super hearing, it was able to detect which one was the real Z with ease. Seemingly grinning, the Audino dashed towards the real Z, its fist glowing brightly with a pound at the ready. Z, use quick attack to get out of there. Naruto exclaimed, the EV dashing away with a trail of white light. The Audino did not let up though, shocking the trainers when two masses of light blue energy materialized right in front of it before firing off at Z. That's a shock. Chirin exclaimed. Dodge it, Z. Naruto yelled, but was too late as the psionic attack struck Z, causing the Pokémon to release a silent cry of pain. Z. He exclaimed, watching as his partner shakily got back up on his feet. Are you alright? Naruto asked, receiving a nod of confirmation from Z. Okay, let's end this. Hyper voice. Hyper what? Odd. Tako Audino questioned, the latter dropping down in pain from a high-pitched cry that was emitted from Z's mouth. I don't understand, what's going on? Tako asked. Hyper voice. Z is releasing a cry at such a high frequency that the human ear without a hearing aid can barely, well, hear. The same does not apply for the Audino however. Naruto explained, observing the Audino writhing around in pain from the terribly high-pitched noise. Z, use swift. Immediately, Z stopped using hyper voice and fired off several star-like projectiles at the Audino, all of which directly impacted against the recovering Pokémon. Brittle, but effective. Chirin stated. He's not giving the Audino any time to use its regenerator ability if it even has that ability. Regenerator? Tako questioned. Regenerator is an ability commonly found in Audinos which allows them to heal themselves over a period of time, making the ones that have a mastery over this ability tanks in battle. Chirin explained. Right, I knew that. Tako exclaimed, an awkward chuckle escaping her lips as she rubbed the back of her head. Z. Finish this with Iron Tail. Naruto exclaimed, Z's tail enveloping in light, hardening into a blunt iron weapon before he charged forward and slammed the iron tail into Audino, the hearing Pokémon releasing one final cry as it hit the ground, swirls in its eyes. Wow, Belle mumbled an odd NOW, here comes the capture part. Naruto stated, pulling out an unused Pokeball and tossing it at the Audino, a red beam of light shooting out and enveloping the Pokémon. Not a second later, the Audino disappeared and the Pokeball dropped to the ground and wobbled around a few times before suddenly. Bing, the all-so-familiar sound of a successful catching was heard. Without a word, Naruto walked towards the Pokeball, affectionately rubbing Z's head and allowing the EV to climb up his arm and into his usual resting spot inside the blonde's hood. And that's how you catch a Pokémon. Naruto said, picking up the Pokeball. What? Naruto questioned, noticing the uncanny silence coming from the three trainers. No, go Pokeball. No, I just got a insert Pokémon name here. Tako asked, placing one hand on her hips with a questioning look on her face. Why would I do that? Naruto retorted. You know what, never mind. Tako said and he's walking away again. Chirin pointed out, a deadpan stare present on his face as he watched Naruto walk away, Belle and Tako comically flailing around. Oh no you don't. Tako yelled, running towards Naruto and jumping towards him and attempted to force a piggyback ride from him. The keyword being attempted, the emotionless blonde stepping off to the side, leaving Tako to fall face first into the ground. No piggyback ride. Naruto said in almost a scolding manner. But why? Tako questioned, a comical teardrop appearing in her eyes. Why are you guys still following me? I've explained how to catch Pokémon. Naruto asked. First of all, you've only gone about 6 feet away from where you stood. And secondly, out of all 4 of us, you're the only one with a usable Pokémon at the moment. Chirin replied. Tako beat both myself and Belle earlier today, and you beat Tako. We run the risk of being attacked by wild Pokémon without a means to defend ourselves without you around. So until our Pokémon can recover fully, we will be following you. Logical. Very well, try not to fall behind. Naruto complied, turning his back to the 3 trainers and walking away. You and Naruto-kun. Belle called out, causing her fellow blonde to turn towards her. See, can I get a piggyback ride? Naruto remained silent, his emotionless gaze meeting Belle's own. He remained that way for a few seconds before turning away, causing Belle's hope and courage to drop drastically and then go back up when she noticed Naruto kneeling down, his hands pushed back in preparation for support. The blonde girl smiled before running towards Naruto, draping her arms around his shoulders. He quickly stepped up off the ground, his hands wrapping around her thighs to further support her. A small tinge of red spread across Naruto's face as he felt another part of her, rather too. No fair. How come she gets a piggyback ride and I don't? Tako complained, a pout on her face. Because she asked. Naruto replied, a small mischievous giggle escaping Belle's lips as she leaned in closer. Troublesome, he muttered under his breath, though his lips twitched upward slightly. But Saisho. The shiny Audino watched quietly from the treetops as the 4 trainers continued on their journey, tears flowing from his eyes and a smile on his face. Keep my firstborn safe, Naruto Saisho muttered, wiping the tears away from his eyes. Chapter end. Chapter start. Unknown location. The sun had quickly set across the sky, allowing the starry sky to cover the land in a luminous blanket. A silent humming sound broke the serenity of the forest as a small dark biplane zoomed across the sky. Inside the airplane was two people, the pilot and the passenger. The pilot was a young man that stood at 5'7" with dark blue hair that covered his right eye, black eyes, and pale skin. He wore unconventional clothing for a pilot, consisting of a blue kimono-like outfit, knee-high socks, dark shoes, and black wristbands with red linings. And lastly, the passenger was a young woman standing at 5'4" with long purple hair, C-cup bordering D-cup breasts, and slightly pale skin, the rest of her face being concealed behind a helmet. She wore a white dress that hugged her curves with a loose turtleneck collar and ended where her thighs began, and a red R on her chest, white gloves, white shoes, and a black bodysuit underneath all of this. To top it all off, on her back she wore a parachute backpack. Okay. We'll be passing over the drop site in T-30 seconds. This is your last chance to back out of this. The dark blue-haired man exclaimed. I wouldn't be on board if I wasn't sure of this. The purple-haired woman yelled, opening up the side door of the plane. And your father is letting you do this? The dark blue-haired man questioned, having to yell over the whipping wind. He's the one who authorized it. The purple-haired woman replied. Okay. Now one last reiteration. You, the dark blue-haired man started. I already know what my objectives are. The purple-haired woman interrupted. Good, because we're over the jump site now. The dark blue-haired man stated. Wait, Cerse. He exclaimed, causing the purple-haired woman, Cerse, to halt as she was about to jump. Good luck. Thanks, Hayato-san. Cerse said before she jumped. Leaving Hayato alone in the plane. Damn it, she didn't close the door, Hayato grumbled. With Naruto, Tako, Belle, and Chirin. As night fell, the four trainers decided to set up camp next to some trees near a small lake, releasing their Pokémon from the confines of their Pokeballs to rest and stretch out their limbs. It was then that Z made acquaintance with Sekachina and Mizukin, Belle's Tepig and Chirin's Oshout respectively. The darkness of the night concealed the sight of a parachute opening up miles away to most people, but Naruto was not most people. His lone eye followed the faint white outlines of the parachute until it vanished into the tree line. Is something wrong? Belle called out, catching her fellow blonde's attention. No. Nothing at all. Naruto replied, grabbing a stick and prodding the fire in front of him. Soon enough, all four trainers were sitting around the fire. So care to tell us about yourself? Chirin asked, breaking the small pause of silence that followed the blonde man's statement. Oh, that's a good idea. Belle exclaimed. Chirin-kun, Tako-chan and I all grew up together, but we barely know anything about you, Naruto-kun. Naruto remained silent, his eye narrowing, indicating that he was not particularly fond of the idea. Okay, how about this? We ask you a question, you ask us a question. If any of us don't feel comfortable answering, then we don't have to. Deal? Tako suggested. Fine. Naruto conceded, shuffling back until he was propped up against one of the trees. What do you want to know? Well, stuff like likes and dislikes, dreams for the future, hobbies, Tako stated. Well, let's begin with introducing yourselves. What do you want to know? How about your likes, dislikes, your dreams for the future and things like that? Hey, why don't you introduce yourself to us first? Well, my name is Naruto. Belle called out, breaking the blonde man from his reminiscing. Naruto hummed in confusion. You were staring at that fire for a good minute. Are you okay? Chirin asked. Yeah, I'm fine. This just reminded me of another time, Naruto stated. But enough of that. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I'm originally from the Ori region. I like Z, freedom, and efficiency. My dislikes are oppression, cruelty, and team. His voice trailed off and his eye narrowed. He closed his one good eye and took a deep breath. My dreams for the future are none of your concern, and my hobbies are training and singing. Naruto finished, muttering that last part under his breath. What was that last part? Belle questioned. Nothing. Naruto exclaimed. I think he said singing. Chirin replied. No, I didn't. Naruto denied. Oh, that's so sweet. Tako teased. Yo, you guys are up next. Naruto stated, attempting to change the topic of discussion. Very well, my name is Chirin Haiju. I like Mizukin, knowledge, and Pocky. My dislikes are wasting time and weakness. My goal for the future is to become stronger and become the champion. My hobbies are reading and studying. Chirin stated. Your turn, Belle. Right. My name's Bianca Mendamika, but everyone calls me Belle. Belle stated, her eyes focusing on the other blonde of the group before she averted her gaze from Naruto with a tinge of red on her cheeks. I love simple things. Like flowers, smiles, especially if I can provide those smiles. My hobbies are gardening, cooking, and helping my friends. And even if I love simplicity, I have many dreams. Belle said. I cannot describe them, but I want to be something more. Yet she stated, her voice trailing off as she hugged her knees and stared at the fire. I don't think I'm comfortable talking about this anymore. I guess that's my cue. My name's Tako Shiro, but you can call me Tako-chan. I like my Pokémon, catching new Pokémon, sweet things, and battling. My dislikes are people hating on my style cheering and losing battles. My hobbies include battling, catching new Pokémon, and more battling. My dream for the future is to become the champion. Tako stated. Well, I think this is enough for one night. See you all in the morning. Chirin said, taking off his jacket and using it as a makeshift blanket, Mizukin making her way under the blanket to sleep as well. Chirin's right. Night guys. Tako said, tilting her hat down to cover her eyes as she laid against one of the trees, Mai curling up against her trainer's side. Then night, Naruto-kun, Belle said, curling up against a tree with Sekachina curling up beside her. Good night Belle-chan, Tako, Chirin. Naruto whispered, propping himself up against a tree. A few hours passed before the three trainers and Pokémon fell asleep, leaving Naruto and Z as the only ones left awake, the former staring at the fire and poking at some of the embers, and the latter lying down near his trainer and just staring at the fire. It was then that the blonde man decided to check on the others, taking a quick glance to see if they were truly asleep. Chirin had a serene look on his face, the same went for his Ashot. Tako had a bit of drool escaping her lips, and despite the fact that she was asleep, a perverse grin was present on her face. Mai, like Mizukin and Chirin, has a serene look on her face as she slept. Sekachina was lying on his side, his leg twitching slightly every now and then, and Belle. The busty blonde was shivering, her arms closed tightly together. Though the campfire was not close to dying embers, so Naruto figured she must either be really cold or having a nightmare. His money was more on the latter. The sigh escaped Naruto's lips as he quietly stood up and made his way over to Belle and took off his jacket, revealing his black form-fitting t-shirt underneath. He then placed the jacket over her, though she still kept shivering. Play Nightcore Stand in the Rain by Super Chick. She never slows down. Naruto began to sing. She doesn't know why, but she knows that when she's all alone it feels like it's all coming down. His voice was soft but smooth, and soon enough he attracted attention from some of the native Pokémon, consisting of Lillipups, Herdiers, Jigglypuffs, Wigglytuffs, Stoutlands, Watcogs, and a lone Farfetch'd. Jiggly? One of the Jigglypuffs called out. "Vee!" Z exclaimed. Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff. The Jigglypuff exclaimed, causing the other Jigglypuffs and Wigglytuffs to start singing, their voices forming the instrumental music. She won't turn around. Naruto continued singing. The shadows are long, and she fears if she cries that first tear, the tears will not stop raining down, so stand in the rain. Stand your ground. Stand up when it's all crashing down. You will stand through the pain, you won't drown. And one day what's lost can be found. You stand in the rain. His voice became softer and softer with each passing note until his voice was barely heard at the end. So stand in the rain, stand your ground, stand up when it's all crashing down, you'll stand through the pain, you won't drown, and one day what's lost can be found, you stand in the rain. The crowd of Pokémon quickly dispersed, leaving all but a few including the Farfetch'd left still at the campsite. Naruto knelt down next to Belle, the girl having finally stopped shivering, and brushed a strand of hair out of the woman's face, placing his hand on her cheek. After doing so, the moment his hand left her cheek, Belle unconsciously took his hand in her grip, squeezing the appendage tightly and, with a strength not found before by her fellow blonde, pulled Naruto downward, causing him to hit his head against the trunk of the tree. Ghh. Naruto silently exclaimed, rubbing his head in pain, noticing Belle shift around until she was hugging the blonde man tightly like a child with their favorite stuffed animal, a serene smile on her face as she used her fellow blonde's chest as a pillow, the jacket that was once shortly ago draped over her tossed behind her. Z questioned in an almost teasing manner. Oh haha, very funny. Naruto replied in an almost dry tone as he maneuvered himself around so that he was in a comfortable position. I know, that's what I'm afraid of. Eve. Size E shift and use yawn on me, then base shift please. Espion. Chapter end. Chapter start. Dream sequence start. The young blonde boy's eyes widened, his heart pounding in his chest. The boy, against his better judgment, cast his gaze downward. Blood. That was what he saw. Unconsciously, he gripped a bloodied kitchen knife held in his hands, clenching up so hard that his knuckles began to turn white. He killed him. He killed a man. No matter how many times he repeated that mantra in his head, he still could not come to terms with it. Naruto. The feminine cries sounded more like hollowed echoes to the boy. Clang was the resonating sound of the knife dropping out of the boy's hands, clattering to the ground lifelessly. Sachi, the same voice said softly, a pair of warm arms encircling the boy's small frame and pulling him into a hug. Tears began welling up in his eyes, and shortly after he was crying into the woman's shoulder. It's okay, Sachi, it's okay. Dream sequence end. Naruto's eye opened up as he awoke with a startle. He blinked a few times to refocus his vision before trying to rub the crust out of his eye, only to find that his movement was limited. But the Naruto mumbled, only for his voice to trail off as a mop of blonde hair filled his vision. Straddling his left side was Belle, the blonde woman still fast asleep with a small smile on her face, as her arms encompassed Naruto's left arm and his right side, her head resting upon his chest and her legs wrapped around his own. Z called out, yawning and stretching out his limbs as he woke up. An awkward silence was shared between Naruto and Z, the latter having a large grin spread across his face. Not a word. Naruto said, his face stoic as ever, but with a blush present. Normally he wouldn't be blushing from such intimate contact, but the combination of Belle and morning wood got the better of him in this situation. Z teased, trotting away to Arceus knows where, most likely to go through his daily routine. You're awake now? Chirin called out, catching the attention of both Pokémon and trainer. Naruto looked around and found Chirin leaning against a tree with his nose in a book. I'm surprised that you're up before me. Naruto stated, getting his blush under control and using his free hand to rub the crust out of his eye. Says the guy who's being used as a stuffed teddy bear toy. Chirin retorted. Touche, Naruto said, attempting to snake his way out of his fellow blonde's grip only for her to tighten her grip around him. Is this a common occurrence with Belle-chan? I can't say I've seen her do this sort of thing before. Chirin replied, not even bothering to look up from his book. A few minutes passed before the black-haired trainer pushed off of the tree. Well, since I'm no longer the only one awake, I bid you good day. He stated, slowly walking away from the campsite. You're heading out to the next town? Naruto questioned. Yes. Please inform Tako and Belle when they wake up. Chirin said. Good luck in your journey. And to you as well. Naruto stated, watching Chirin walk away until he was no longer in sight. A few minutes passed until Belle mumbled in her sleep, nuzzling her head into Naruto's chest and shifting around in such a way that caused Naruto's eye to widen and his pants to feel even tighter than normal. Belle-chan. Naruto called out. Belle muttered, her grip around her fellow blonde tightening. Belle-chan. Naruto repeated. Ugh, what? Belle questioned, her voice trailing off when she noticed the position that she was in. To be fair, you were the one that got us into this position in the first place. Naruto stated. Belle stuttered, now fully awake with a stark red blush on her face. Her blush intensified to the point that the heat coming from her face could be felt by Naruto when she noticed a certain appendage of his that she was grinding against. That. Yes. Naruto replied. Belle became a sputtering mess, deciding that the safest way to respond was to bury her face into Naruto's chest. Should I give you two some privacy, or are you fine with voyeurism? Tako called out, a grin present on her face as she stared at the two blondes. How long have you been awake? Naruto asked. Ever since Chirin talked with you. Tako replied. So, how about it, Belle-chan? Tako-chan. Belle exclaimed. So you want me to join in? Tako teased. No. Belle yelled, her face so red that it would make the very color jealous of how red she was. Oh? So you want to watch instead? You naughty girl, Tako said. Though she only intended to tease Belle, a tinge of red was present on her face when she noticed the bulge in Naruto's pants. But seriously, want me to? 'Cause I'll do it. Don't think I won't. She stated, winking at Naruto with a sly grin on her face. Yeah, I honestly didn't expect you to last that long or for Belle-chan to actually join in, Tako stated, causing Belle to blush in embarrassment and hide her face in between her hands. I can't believe I actually did that. Belle muttered, casting her head down in shame. Look on the bright side, at least this was of our own free will and with someone we know rather than a total stranger or worse, Tako said, attempting to cheer up her blonde friend. But things won't ever be the same again, Belle said, tears welling up in her eyes. Suddenly, she felt a hand cup her cheek and wipe away her tears. Things won't be the same, but that's life. Constant change. Naruto said, leaning down and kissing Belle on the forehead. The real challenge is how we deal with change, how we cope and move on. Naruto then let go of Belle, searching around for his clothes alongside Tako. Naruto-kun. Belle called out. Yes, Belle-chan. Naruto questioned. Thanks, Belle said. Also, could you hand me my bra? Sure. Naruto replied, pulling up his underwear and pants before reaching down for Belle's black bra, tossing the clothing garment to its owner. So what happens now? Belle asked as she hooked her bra on. Now? We move on with our lives. Maybe stick together as far as, say, Striation City. Tako suggested. Chen. Very well, I can agree to that. Naruto conceded. Oh okay, I guess Belle stated alright. Let's go. Team Ace. Tako exclaimed, pumping her fist in the air. Team Ace? Belle questioned. Yeah, you know because we're ace trainers. Tauko explained, we're not calling ourselves teammates, Naruto stated. It was on that very day that teammates' legend began. Chapter end. Chapter start. Accumula town. Finally. We took forever to get here. Tauko exclaimed, walking alongside Belle and Naruto. Z had returned to his trainer after he and the others were finished redressing from the activities that occurred earlier that day and was now resting in his usual spot inside Naruto's hood. It wasn't that long. Belle said. Besides, you got that Lilliput, yeah. That was an intense battle. Tauko boasted, puffing out her chest in pride. In the time span between after giving Naruto his prize and reaching Accumula town, the brunette had caught a Lilliput which she named Walt. What are you talking about? That Lilliput just heard our ahem activities and came to us out of curiosity. Then you chucked a pokeball at it and it was too startled to resist. Naruto stated, causing Tauko's blimp-like ego to deflate. I still haven't caught a Pokémon yet, Belle muttered, slightly downcast from the fact that Tauko and Naruto had already caught another Pokémon and she had not. It's alright, Belle-chan. I'm positive that you'll find an awesome Pokémon soon. Tauko stated, attempting to cheer up her best female friend. She's right, Belle-chan. Chances are you'll find a new Pokémon to catch before we reach Striation City. Naruto added, the blonde woman's confidence boosting slightly. Z yipped encouragingly as he popped out from inside Naruto's hood. Thanks guys. Belle said, a smile present on her face. You know, I heard that there's a huge bazaar at the Pokémon Center in this town, Tauko said, a grin and a strange glint appearing in her eyes and in Belle's. You know that means shopping time? Tauko and Belle exclaimed. Shopping time? Naruto questioned. It's not as big as the malls in Mombasa City or Castelia City, but there is definitely some interesting wares. Or so I've heard. Tauko stated. Hey Naruto-kun. Tauko turned to Naruto, only to find that the blonde man was gone, nowhere to be seen. The only indication that he was even there in the first place was the dust cloud outline of his body that quickly dissipated. Where did he go? Belle questioned. I don't know, Tauko replied. Oh well, his loss. Let's go peruse the finely fabricated wares this place has to offer. I'm sure that we'll find him or he'll find us. Right. Belle exclaimed cheerfully, both women walking off towards the direction of the marketplace. Is the coast clear? Alright. Lead the way then. Accumula town main square. Gray eyes watched from afar as Naruto and Z snuck away from Tauko and Belle with unbridled curiosity. Is the coast clear? Yeah. Now come on, we have to meet at the rendezvous point. Alright. Lead the way then. The gray orbs continued to track the duo's movements until. Lady N, is something wrong? A man dressed in a white and pale blue knight-like outfit asked. There was a black X-like mark on the top part of the hood and a strange black and white shield symbol with a blue lettering that resembled the Cairo symbol was embroidered on the front chest. No, nothing is wrong. Please tell Tucson that I'll be going out for a small walk. By myself alone. A soft feminine voice stated, putting emphasis on the fact that she wanted to go without supervision. Of course, my lady. With Naruto and Z. The blonde man and Eevee continued walking through the town, making their way to their mysterious destination. Hey Naruto. Z said to his trainer after a few minutes of silence. Yeah. What's up, Z? Naruto asked. Do you ever get the feeling that you're being stalked by someone? Z questioned. Yo, you mean like right now? Naruto retorted. Yeah, like right now, Z stated, turning his head slightly back. Hey lady. Would you please stop stalking us? At least come out and show yourself for fuck's sake, you stalker. I am not a stalker. There was an immediate response from the duo's alleged stalker, causing both Naruto and Z's eyes to widen by a small margin. A young woman around the same age as Naruto popped out from a nearby alleyway. She stood at 5'4" with long pale tea green hair held up in a ponytail and went down to her feet, C-cup breasts, light skin, and light gray eyes. She wore a white trench coat with black cuffs that was closed at the waist by a slanted light green belt. Under this, she wore a tight black dress that showed off her cleavage and ended right before her thighs, a pair of light green bracelets on both wrists, a golden pendant with a purple oval jewel, a black orb with blue and orange rings forming a perpendicular intersection, and two mismatched thigh-high heels. The left one was white with an orange streak around the ankle, and the right one was black with a blue streak around the ankle. Hi. Why your Pokémon did you know he talked? The young woman questioned, her heart skipping a beat when her gaze met the blonde's own. Yes. I know that. And I also know that I talked and you talked and everyone talked. Naruto stated, sarcasm laced heavily in his voice. But you knew what he was saying? The young woman asked. Who exactly are you supposed to be? Naruto questioned, feigning ignorance. Right. Sorry about that, my name is Natura, but everybody just calls me NN. Nice to meet you. The young woman, N, exclaimed cheerfully, shyly extending her hand to Naruto. The pleasure's all mine, N. The name's Naruto. Naruto stated, shaking her hand with his own. So where exactly are you two going? N questioned, an awkward chuckle escaping her lips. Naruto and Z remained silent, only deadpanning at the socially awkward woman. He Han chuckled, scratching the back of her head sheepishly. Stalker? Naruto muttered, though N could hear him clearly. I'm not. N comically yelled, a tick mark appearing on her face. Then why are you following me like a stalker would? Naruto retorted, raising his eyebrow in expectance. You erg. N exclaimed in frustration. I am not stalking you. Say something, damn it. Say something other than stalker. Stop stalking me. Arg. With Tauko and Belle. Well, that was fun. Belle exclaimed, a small shopping bag in her hands. She walked out of the Poké Center alongside Tauko, the brunette carrying 3 shopping bags of her own. It was. I just wish that we had more money for stuff. Tauko said. Both women realized that they had to manage their spending and budget, buying only necessities and maybe sometimes luxuries. Belle had bought only 3 items. A heal ball, a potion, and, surprisingly enough, a digital camera, the latter hanging around her neck by a cord that came with a photographic device when she bought it. Tauko, on the other hand, had bought a dozen Pokeballs and 6 potions, though her total cost was less than Belle's was. Belle-san, Tauko-san. Said girls turned to the source of the voice, only to find a familiar face approaching them. Jiren. Tauko Belle exclaimed, both women waving to their childhood friend. I didn't expect to see you two here so soon. Jiren stated. We didn't expect you to run off so soon. Tauko retorted, I was just about to head on my way to Striation City, that's where the first gym is located. Jiren said. Attention. My name is Getsus. I am here representing Team Plasma. A deep voice bellowed, coming from the main square of the town. Passing by trainers and Accumula citizens alike stood around to listen as Team Plasma addressed them. At the front of the line of Team Plasma representatives was a very tall man, standing at 6'2", wearing a large intricately designed cloak with an armor-like wide collar and a single break in the left side so that his arm could slip through. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to talk to you about Pokémon liberation. Hushed whispers began spreading throughout the crowd before the man, identified as Getsus, began speaking again. I'm sure most of you believe that we humans and Pokémon are partners that have come to live together because we want and need each other. However, is that really the truth? Have you ever considered that perhaps we humans only assume that this is the truth? He questioned. Pokémon are subject to the selfish commands of trainers. They get pushed around when they are our partners at work. Can anyone say with confidence that there is no truth in what I'm saying? The hushed whispers grew once again as more and more trainers and citizens began to question how they treated their Pokémon. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Pokémon are different from humans. They are living beings that contain unknown potential. They are living beings from whom we humans have much to learn. Tell me, what is our responsibility toward these wonderful beings called Pokémon? What could it be? Liberation. Were some of the things that people whispered. That's right. We must liberate the Pokémon. Then, and only then, will humans and Pokémon truly be equals. Getsus yelled. Everyone, I end my words here today by imploring you to consider the relationship between people and Pokémon and the correct way to proceed. We sincerely appreciate your attention. And with that, Getsus and the members of Team Plasma packed up and left. About that speech, what do you think we should do? One of the older men questioned. Liberate Pokémon? That's not even possible. Another man exclaimed. Soon enough, the entire crowd dispersed, leaving Belle, Tauko, and Jiren as the only ones left standing in the main square. See that? What you think? I don't know why you dragged me down here. The 3 trainers from Nuvema town turned to find Naruto being dragged by his hand by Naruto-kun. Belle exclaimed, faltering slight when she saw the green-haired woman with Naruto. Naruto-kun. Where have you been? You missed shopping. Tauko exclaimed. For a brief second, the brunette thought she saw a hidden rage in Naruto's eye as he gazed in the direction Team Plasma left in, but wrote it off as nothing when it vanished less than a second later as he glanced in her direction. Please help me. I'm being held hostage by my stalker. Naruto stated dryly. I am not your stalker. N comically yelled. Then you're just a stalker. Naruto retorted. Ugh. Really? N exclaimed. Who are you? Belle exclaimed, grabbing Naruto's hand in an attempt to steal him back from the green-haired woman. Oh, the name's Natura, but most people call me N. Translation. He's mine, fuckers. N replied, gripping Naruto's hand tighter. An unspoken challenge was issued to Belle by N, sparks flying between the 2 women. Nice to meet you, and my name is Belle. Translation. Bitch, who do you think you are? That's my man. Belle stated, pushing herself into Naruto's arm and purposefully pressing her breasts into him. What the heck's going on? Jiren questioned. I'm losing feeling in my arm. Naruto stated, though both comments from the men went to deaf ears. HELLO, my name's Taco. Translation. Learn your place, guys. I'm the one he's closest to. Taco exclaimed, jumping onto Naruto's back, being very sure that her breasts were pressing into the blonde man's head as she wrapped her legs around his waist. Hey Taco, so nice of you to drop by. Translation. Fuck you. I call dibs first. Belle stated, almost forcefully through her gritting teeth. This, in turn, caused her to release her grip on Naruto's arm, moving the appendage aside in favor of hugging and pressing her body into the blonde man, her right arm snaking its way in between Taco and Naruto and linking together on the other side. Very nice to meet you, Taco. Translation. Both of y'all better back the fuck off before it gets real. End stated, a deathly aura appearing around her, though the only one to actually notice this was Chirin. A fake smile on her face, the green-haired woman mimicked Belle's actions, only making sure that Naruto's hand accidentally groped her ass. I don't know whether to stop this or let them continue, Naruto thought, unable to prevent a blush from spreading across his face. The pleasure's all mine. Translation. Bring it on. Taco replied, a sly grin on her face as her hand slid down Naruto's chest. So how did you meet Naruto-kun? Translation. Who do you think you are? Belle asked, wrapping her leg around Naruto's. Oh, recently. Translation. I'm the alpha female, bitches. So back the fuck off. En replied, resting her head in the crane of Naruto's neck with an evil female glint in her eyes. Really? Translation. Police. If anything, I'm the alpha female. Belle said. Taco-san, En-san, Belle-san. Chirin started, only for all three females to snap towards him. It was then and there that the black-haired man swore he saw the face of death itself stare him down in the form of three death glares that promised nothing short of agonizing pain. Never mind. He said meekly, shrinking back in fear of being the recipient of feminine wrath. Say here's an idea, how about a three-way battle? Translation. Settle it and smash. Taco suggested. Sounds like a great idea. Translation. Get number wrecked, bitch. Belle said. The one-on-one battle. I'm in. Translation. Imacap 2 bitches, ya N00 BS. En said. Translation. Chirin. Help me. Naruto silently exclaimed, his lone eye pleading to be saved from the situation he was in. Translation. I help those who help themselves. Chirin silently replied. Translation. Traitor. A lone comical tear fell from Naruto's eye as he was finally engulfed in the sea of estrogen. Alright. Let's do this. Translation. You two are going down. Taco exclaimed. Chapter end. Chapter start. Somewhere outside of Accumula town. Cerse tapped her foot rhythmically on the soft earth underneath her. She had been standing there for 15 minutes and she knew her partner was never one to be tardy unless he had a good reason. This was the agreed upon rendezvous location, so where is he? Cerse mentally questioned. BV. A familiar Pokémon's cry caught Cerse's attention as a familiar tuft of brown fur popped out from the bushes. Z. Is that you? Cerse called out. B. Z exclaimed, nodding his head yes in response. That was how she could communicate with Z, through yes or no questions. Where is he? Did something come up? Cerse questioned. V. Z yipped, nodding twice in succession. Well, what was it? Ambush. Cerse asked, only to receive a no from Z captured. V. Z explained, only to receive a deadpan stare from Cerse. Z simply said, nodding yes to Cerse. By who? Was it them? Cerse questioned. Ev. Z shook his head no. Someone worse? Cerse queried. Ev. Again, Z replied with a no. Girls? Cerse asked. V. This time Z shook his head yes in response. For some reason, that answer filled Cerse with more dread than if he had been caught by them and some other feelings that she herself didn't understand. How many? More than 10? Cerse questioned. Ev. Z shook his head no, tapping his foot on the ground 3 times 3. Cerse asked, receiving a yes from Z. A groan escaped her lips as she facepalmed. Of course he would be in that situation, damn it, Naruto. V. Z stated, in almost a teasing manner. What, never mind. Okay, listen, here's the new plan. Cerse started. Accumula town main square. Belle glared harshly at En, the green-haired woman herself glaring right back, as if the other would spontaneously combust if they glared long enough. Taco, on the other hand, was just looking back and forth between the other two women with an amused look on her face. So ladies, shall we begin? Taco called out, causing both women to turn towards her. You took the words right out of my mouth. Belle stated, pulling out her pokeball. Come on out, Jasmine. En exclaimed. The green-haired woman tossed out her pokeball and in a flash of light a female purloin appeared. Sekachina, let's do this. Belle exclaimed, tossing out her pokeball. Not a second later, her Tepig had appeared to enter the battle. Mai, your time to shine. Tako yelled, tossing out one of her 2 Pokeballs, Mai appearing seconds later. You gals know the rules right. One Pokémon, try not to hurt Naruto-kun. Naruto was silent, an emotionless mask on his face as he came to terms with the predicament he was in. Why am I tied up? Moreover, where did you get the rope from? The blonde man was bound by rope, on his knees and left dead center between the 3 women, clearly unsure of how he had gotten into this position and where the rope had come from. Shut up. And, Belle, and Tako exclaimed as one. Jiren, if you would, Tako said. Do I have to? Jiren questioned. Yes. Yes you do. Tako replied without any hesitation, causing the glasses-wearing trainer to sigh. The battle between Belle, Tako, and N for the blonde prize will now commence. Ichinai Sanhajim. Jiren exclaimed reluctantly, throwing down his hands and signifying the start of the 3-way battle. My. Use energy ball at Jasmine. Tako exclaimed, the female Snivy forming a green transparent ball of energy that shot out at N's purloin. Jasmine, use protect. N exclaimed, her purloin's eyes glowed blue as a spherical barrier materialized around the cat-like Pokémon, just in time for the energy ball to impact against the surface. Ekachina. Use sunny day. Belle exclaimed, her Tepig's eyes becoming fiery as she released a white beam of light to the sky, causing the sun to shine brighter. Jasmine, fire a shadow ball at Sekachina. N said. Jasmine did as her trainer commanded, firing off a dark projectile towards the unsuspecting Tepig. Sekachina. Look out. Belle cried out. Tepig. Her cries were in vain as the shadow ball slammed into Sekachina, the Tepig releasing a pained cry as she was sent flying back slightly. Mai, now's your chance. Use Vine Whip on Jasmine. Tako said, using this opportunity to strike her opponent's Pokémon. Vine-like tendrils shot out of Mai's back and slammed into Jasmine, sending the purloin flying back until. Jasmine stopped being airborne when she finally slammed into someone. Naruto fell onto his side when the purloin knocked him down, his emotionless mask complemented with a comical tick mark. Naruto-kun. Belle exclaimed, a fiery look appearing in her eyes. Sekachina, use flame charge. She yelled, her Tepig's body became covered in flames as she charged into Mai, the fire-type move being extremely effective on the grass Pokémon. Mai. Tako exclaimed, watching helplessly as her Snivy fell to the ground knocked out, swirls appearing in the grass snake Pokémon's eyes. Mai is unable to continue, Tako is out of the battle. Jiren exclaimed. Jasmine. Go in close and use Shadow Claw. N yelled, the female purloin's front paws becoming coated in shadows that took on the shape of elongated claws as the devious Pokémon charged forward. Sekachina. Belle called out Teepig. Sekachina cried out. Her entire body was surrounded by a light blue aura as small chunks of the earth were torn from the ground, each covered in the same light blue aura that surrounded Sekachina's superpower. Naruto exclaimed, his lone eye widening as he recognized the move the Tepig was using. Jasmine. Watch out. N exclaimed but was too late as the chunks of earth slammed into her Pokémon. Jasmine released a cry of pain as it fell to the ground. Purloin Jasmine released a weak cry as she tried to stand up, only to collapse back onto the ground with swirls in her eyes. Jasmine is unable to continue and is out of the battle. The winner is Belle. Jiren stated, causing the blonde woman and her Tepig to cheer. Damn, what was that second wind you got near the end, Belle-chan? Tako questioned. Jiren sweat-dropped at how the 3 women went from being super hostile to this calm, collected, as if there was no hostility to begin with. I'm curious as well. N added. Well, Belle mumbled, blushing in embarrassment as she looked down towards Naruto. That's great and all, but can someone please untie me? Naruto exclaimed, struggling against the tightly bound rope in a comical manner. Oh right. Tako exclaimed, pulling out her Swiss Army knife and kneeling down by Naruto, swiftly hacking her way through the rope and releasing the blonde man. Thanks. Naruto said, rubbing his sore wrists. So what exactly was the reason for me being tied up? Oh, no reason. No reason at all, Tako stated, lying through her teeth to the blonde. Right. Now what? Naruto asked, choosing to drop the topic and move on. Now I'm actually not sure. Maybe we can all relax, stay a night at the Pokémon Center, and leave in the morning. Tako suggested. I actually planned on making my way to Striation City, so I'm going to have to start now while the sun's still out. Jiren said. The sooner I can get my badges, the sooner I can take on the league. Oh come on, Jiren. Slow down a bit, won't The Pokémon League isn't going anywhere. Belle stated. True. But the World Tournament is. Jiren retorted. World Tournament? Naruto questioned. The Pokémon World Tournament. Every 4 years, the best Pokémon trainers from around the globe compete against each other for the title of Pokémon Master. It isn't an open event sort of thing either, you have to be approached by one of the tournament officials and be given an invitation to participate. The next tournament will be in 3 years and I plan to be the one to claim the title of Pokémon Master. Chiron stated before he began walking away. Okay, so I guess that's a no from Chiron. What about you guys? Taoko asked, turning to her remaining fellow trainers. I guess so, if everyone else is on board as well. Belle stated. Yes. I mean, yeah. Shuren said, reining the enthusiasm in her voice. Alright. Naruto agreed. So it's agreed. Team Ace and Enchan will stay the night in one of the Pokémon Center's rooms. Taoko exclaimed. We're not Team Ace. Naruto commented. Yes we are. Taoko retorted. I'll go book us a room while we can. I want to go catch another Pokémon, so I'll head out to search for one in the forest. Belle stated. I'm going with Taoko-chan. I need to heal up Jasmine. En stated. I'll be training with Z in the forest. Naruto stated. Alright 3, 2, 1 break. Taoko exclaimed, all 4 trainers going off to do what they said they would. Taoko and En began heading north towards the Pokémon Center, while Belle followed Naruto and the 2 blondes marched eastward, off to the surrounding forest. Fundeert Forest. Belle and Naruto quickly went separate ways, choosing to find different areas in the forest to go about their objectives. The blonde man closed his eye, channeling as much of his aura as he could to sense out where his partner had gone. The best he could muster was a range of 5,000 feet, nearly a mile in diameter. That range would be impressive, but not to the blonde. His range was but a small fraction of what the aura masters of the past could do. Nevertheless, the blonde man located Z approximately 50 yards northeast. Naruto reopened his eye, the blue orb glowing a brighter hue for a fraction of a second. He tapped his boots together once and flicked his wrists back, causing a light blue glow and a near-silent humming sound to be emitted from the bottom part of the footwear and his wristbands to materialize futuristic gloves around his hands with similar properties as his boots. The blonde man began running forward before jumping up. A burst of energy shot from his boots, propelling Naruto up even higher as the blonde pushed his hands back, his palms facing behind him, as bursts of energy from his gloves shot him even further towards his destination. In a matter of minutes, Naruto had traversed 40 yards with the help of his propulsion equipment and hopping from tree to tree. By the time he reached 40 yards, the blonde deactivated his equipment and began walking. Z. Are you there? Naruto called out, only to freeze up when he felt the sensation of cold, hard, sharpened metal pressed up against his jugular revere. The blood of the innocent. A familiar voice called out. Nothing is absolute. Everything is possible. Naruto continued. Hide in the midst of the crowds. The voice continued. Hide in the midst of the crowds. Naruto repeated. We are the ones who have entrusted you. Do not betray our trust. The voice finished, the cold metal sensation pressed up against his neck pulling back and being replaced by a more warm and soft sensation. A pair of slim arms wrapped around him and a gentle head rested in the crane of his neck. Naruto-kun. Cerse-chan. Naruto said, grasping one of her hands with his own. I was worried something had happened to you. Cerse muttered. It's okay, Cerse-chan. I'm right here, Naruto stated, turning around to face the purple-haired woman before pulling her into a hug. A warm, wet feeling splashed against the blonde shirt as he stroked Cerse's hair, comforting the woman as best as he could. Eve. Z called out after a few minutes, reminding the duo of his presence. Z's right. We have to stick to the mission. Naruto said. Right. Status update. Cerse asked. They have made their presence known. I've identified the tyrant himself, along with several of his prominent lieutenants, and Naruto stated. And Cerse questioned. I believe I've found the keys. Naruto replied, causing the purple-haired woman's eyes to widen. Really? That's great. Maybe if we Cerse started. No. They cannot know the truth. Not until they're ready. Naruto interrupted. And what makes you think that they aren't ready? Cerse retorted. They haven't awoken yet. Naruto stated. What about on your end? I've explained it all to him and he's willing to assist us on the one condition that we help him with a problem of his own. Cerse replied. Very well. I can agree to those conditions. Naruto said. What about the others? Have you found any of them? Rocket Spy Network has been on the lookout, but the only ones we've found are you and I. I fear that they might have. Cerse's voice trailed off, but the blonde didn't need to hear what she was going to say to know what she meant. I see. I'll try to keep my eye out, but until then, I'll stay undercover for as long as I can. Naruto replied. In the meantime, I need you to locate a certain Pokémon. With Belle. The busty blonde woman sighed as she paused in her trek through the forest. So far, she hadn't encountered any Pokémon that didn't run away or prove to be too strong for Sekachina to take on. This is hopeless, Belle muttered, slumping down to rest against a tree. Tepig. Sekachina called out optimistically, nudging her trainer lightly. Thanks, Sekachina. Belle said, a small smile on her face. Tepig. Sekachina exclaimed, nudging the blonde woman a bit harder than before. What are you trying to get at? Belle questioned. A soft, sweet, almost divine sound suddenly caught her ears. What is that, Tepig? Sekachina yelled, running off into the forest. Sekachina. Belle exclaimed, standing up and running after her Pokémon. Tep tep tepig t tep tepig tep. Sekachina cried out, abruptly stopping in her tracks. Sekachina. Don't go running off like that, Belle said, her voice trailing off when she saw what had made her Pokémon run off. Meloetta. Chapter end. Chapter start. With Belle. Meloetta. The melodic cry caught the busty blonde off guard. Standing before Belle and Sekachina was the mythical melody Pokémon itself. Meloetta seemed to be a femininely anthropomorphic figure with musical bar-style streaks in its hair, quarter notes, crotchets, for its arms and hands, and pupil-less eyes resembling whole notes, semi-breves. It had a jewel on its forehead and a black headpiece that seemed to be shaped like a treble clef which doubled as a microphone, such as one often used by singers. Its ovular head seemed to be a third of its body's height and about half its height in width. Its eyes were light blue in color and it had flowing, wavy hair with light blue ovals that resembled whole notes. Its midriff and eyes matched its hair. Meloetta? Belle questioned, surprise and shock evident on her face. She remembered how her mother once told her the story of Meloetta, a Pokémon whose music and dance inspired many works of art, music, and songs in Unova. Tepig tep tep tepig. Sekachina exclaimed. Meloetta Melo. The Meloetta replied. Tep tepig. Sekachina said in confusion. Melo. The Meloetta repeated simply. What's going on? Belle asked, only to receive a kiss from the Meloetta. A short and simple peck on the lips, but a kiss nonetheless. What the fuck there? Now can you understand me? The Meloetta questioned. Darling, the fuck did you just do to my trainer? Sekachina questioned, her voice taking on a more southern drawl compared to the usual Pokemon's cry in the form of its name. Oh, nothing too drastic, but at least now she can actually understand us, right? The Meloetta asked, directing her question to the busty blonde woman. Belle said nothing, choosing to express her shock in the most appropriate form she could and fainted right there on the spot. Ah, and she fainted. Great. Here, help me with the body. The Meloetta said. What are you planning to do? Sekachina asked. You'll see, the Meloetta mumbled, rummaging through the unconscious girl's bag until she found what she was looking for. Aha. Here we go. But are you really planning to do that, darling? Sekachina questioned. Yes. The muses have changed their tunes. That has never happened before and she has something to do with it, the Meloetta stated. Belle-chan. The busty blonde woman awoke startled when she heard her name being called. Hawa. Belle muttered, pushing up from her prone position on the floor, her glasses slightly tilted, a blade of grass stuck to her cheek, and a small amount of drool escaping her lips. EV. Z exclaimed, resting in his usual spot in Naruto's hood. The blonde man himself was standing over Belle. Are you alright, Belle-chan? I just finished my training with Z and Yasu and found you like this. You've been asleep for a few hours it seems. Naruto stated, causing Belle to become fully awake and aware of her surroundings. What? Belle questioned, quickly regaining her composure and cleaning up her face. She looked up to the sky and found that the sun had traversed across the sky and it was now sunset. Oh dear, hey, at least you caught another Pokémon. Naruto commented. Caught another Pokémon. Belle mumbled, finally taking notice of the Pokeball clutched in her hands. Are you sure you're alright, Belle-chan? Naruto asked. Yeah. I think I'm fine, Belle replied, staring down at the Pokeball in her hands, trying to remember how she obtained it. Okay then. Come on, let's head back to the Pokémon Center. Naruto said, extending his hand to his fellow blonde. Right. Let's go. Belle said, taking on her usual cheerful persona and grabbing Naruto's hand. The blonde man helped her onto her feet and the duo began to walk back to Accumula town. Neither of them noticed it, but the entire way back, not once did one of them let go of the other's hand, even as they filled the silent music of dusk's light with small talk. But Cerse. The purple-haired woman's gaze followed the two blondes until they were out of sight. She felt a small pang of jealousy from Naruto's interactions with Belle, but chose to ignore her emotions for now. Vulpix Vol. The Pokemon's cries broke Cerse out of her stupor. Nudging her leg was a small quadruped fox-like Pokémon that stood at 200. It had a red-brown pelt, brown, pupil-less eyes, large, pointed ears with dark brown insides, and 6 orange tails with curled tips. The Pokémon also had curled locks of orange fur with bangs on top of its head, a cream underbelly, and brown feet with lighter brown paw pads. This was a Vulpix, the fox Pokémon. Specifically, it was Cerse's Vulpix, a female by the name of Akane. Akane? Cerse questioned. Vul Vulpix Vol. Akane stated firmly, pointing her head in a northward direction. Right. Stick to the mission, Cerse said, rubbing the top of Akane's head affectionately. Rest up, Akane, we've got a long trek in the morning. Accumula Town Pokémon Center. The two blondes made it back in time to the Pokémon Center just as the sun had finally set, the last lights of day being blanketed by the shroud of night. The few trainers that were still inside the Pokémon Center quietly mingled with one another, and the two salesmen that manned the Pokemart had already left, a closed sign present on the countertop. "Hi. Welcome to the Pokémon Center. How may I help you?" An also familiar pink-haired lady stood behind the main desk, a cheerful smile present on her face as she spoke. "Yes, I believe that we have a room booked with two other people, N and Tauco," Naruto stated. "Let me check. Here we are. Naruto and Belle, is it?" The nurse Joy questioned, receiving a nod of confirmation from the duo. "I just need to see your trainer IDs to confirm your identity and you'll be all set." In compliance with the pink-haired woman, Naruto and Belle pulled out their trainer cards, handing both IDs to the nurse Joy. A few minutes later, Naruto and Belle received their keys to the room they would all stay in. Naruto and Belle quickly made their way up the stairs to the second floor and found the room they would be staying in, room 215. Is not. The blonde duo opened up the door and came across the sight of Mai, Jasmine, and Walt all sitting around, watching in amusement as En and Tauco comically argued, cards scattered around the two women. "En-chan, Tauco-chan." Belle called out, causing the two women in question to abruptly halt in their tracks. "What's going on here?" Naruto questioned. "Oh, nothing. We were just chatting about how Tauco-chan here cheated in poker." En stated. "I did not cheat." Tauco added. "You know what? Screw it. Naruto-kun and Belle-chan are here now, let's start a new game of poker." "You guys game?" she asked, directing her question at Naruto and Belle. "Okay." Belle said sure. Naruto complied, both blondes sitting down as the cards were gathered up and dealt. "Hey, here's an idea. How about we up the ante a bit?" En suggested, a sly smile on her face. None of the four trainers noticed how Mai had begun to use sweet scent, a cheeky grin on the grass Pokemon's face as she did so. What the group didn't know is that a recent study from one Professor Samuel Oak revealed that while its main use was to relax an opponent, the move sweet scent could also be used as an aphrodisiac to both humans and Pokemon. "Oh? How so?" Naruto questioned, raising an eyebrow in curiosity. "Why don't we make this a game of strip poker? Losers have to take off a cloth of the victor's choice." En asked, getting immediate reactions from the other three. Belle's face lit up like a Christmas tree, Tauco adopted a similar expression as En, and Naruto had a small tinge of red on her face. "Hell yeah!" Tauco exclaimed, pumping up her fists in the air. "Alright." Naruto replied. Belle mumbled, glancing over towards Naruto before confidence began welling up inside her. "Let's do this." "Sweet. Prepare to lose, suckers." Tauco exclaimed. 30 minutes later. "How did it end up like this?" Tauco cried, comical tears falling from her eyes. Currently, out of all four of them, she was the least clothed, her only article of clothing being her white lacy bra. En was left with her black lace bandeau bra, black lace Brazilian bikini panties, and her thigh-high heels. Belle had her black hipster panties and black sports bra on. And lastly, Naruto, who just so happened to be the most clothed of all of them, was only missing his jacket, wristbands, and boots. The one thing they all had in common though, was the perpetual drunken blush on their faces. "What you got?" Naruto called out, holding his cards close to his person with a sultry smirk on his face. "Pair of fives." Belle exclaimed, revealing her hand to be a 5 of diamonds, a 5 of hearts, a 7 of clubs, a 2 of clubs, and a 10 of hearts. "Pair of 7s and 2s." En exclaimed, showing her hand to be a 7 of hearts and diamonds, a 2 of spades and diamonds, and a king of hearts. "3 of a kind of 8s." Tauco exclaimed, using one hand to cover her womanhood and the other to show her hand, which consisted of an 8 of hearts, clubs, and spades, a 2 of hearts, and a 3 of diamonds. "4 of a kind. Jacks." Naruto stated, showing his hand to be all 4 jacks, and a 10 of spades. "Son of a bitch." Tauco cursed, throwing her cards down in frustration. "Damn it." En exclaimed, her blush glowing brighter. "Aha," Belle muttered, a grin on her face despite the fact that she lost. Pay up gals. "En, your panties, Belle, your bra, and Tauco." Naruto started. I know, Tauco said, unclasping her bra and throwing over to Naruto. "Play Sexual Healing by Marvin Gaye." Ryugon said as she stood up, stripped off her panties, and sauntered over to Naruto, planting a kiss on her undergarment before pulling down his pants and wrapping Naruto Jr. in her panties. She pulled Naruto's pants back up and lightly petted the blonde's crotch before she went back to her original spot. "You know," Belle said, crawling on her hands and knees towards Naruto. "If you wanted to see the twins, all you had to do was ask." By the time she finished speaking, Belle had made her way over to Naruto and was now straddling him, being extra sure to grind against him as well. "Please?" Naruto asked, planting a kiss on the busty blonde's clavicle, then on the crane of her neck, making his way up until he was making out with Belle. "Hey, do you guys hear?" Thatn called out, her hands brushing over her breasts as her breath hitched. What do you mean? Taco questioned as she crawled over to Naruto and Belle. I think I hear musicn stated. Marvin Gaye. I think I hear it too, Naruto said in between breaths as he and Belle broke their passionate makeout session for air. His statement went to deaf ears as not a second later, Taco grabbed Naruto's face and began kissing him. Hey. No fair, Taco Chan Belle exclaimed, pulling the brunette woman away from Naruto. I had him first. I got an idea. Let's play a game said, making her way behind Belle and roughly fondling her milky jugs. What kind of game Taco asked. It's called Kiss-me' replied. Kiss-me' Taco repeated. Yes. Kiss-me' exclaimed, her eyes clouded over with lust and a sultry grin on her face. Ooh. I get it, Taco said, making her way over to N before she began kissing the green-haired woman. The musical Pokémon had a grin on its face as it continued singing, adding on to Mai's mischievous actions. Z said with a grin on his face. Audino. Yasu stated. Sniv snivy. Mai said. Lil. Walt said, huffing in annoyance. Per? Jasmine questioned. The next day. The groan escaped Naruto's lips as he awoke. The blonde felt a sharp pain in his head and effects of sweet scent still lingered in the air. Ugh, what happened? Naruto mumbled as he attempted to stand up, only to find a foreign weight pressing his left side down. Belle muttered, cuddling up against her fellow blonde and wearing nothing but her panties. Then again, Naruto was only wearing his underwear as well, a strange uncomfortable object was stuffed in there as well. Taking a look around, Naruto found Taco and En snuggling together, the brunette wearing his jacket, which was slightly large on her, and the green-haired woman wearing his pants. Naruto grunted, pulling the foreign object out of his underwear. Panties. He thought, last night's event still coming back to him. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door, causing Naruto to break out of his stupor. Who? Naruto mumbled, snaking his way out of Belle's grip and making his way to the door. Ah yes. Excuse me sir, I came to give your wake up call. Naruto quickly opened up the door, only to come face to face with the Accumula town nurse Joy. The pincat was completely thrown off when Naruto answered the door wearing nothing but boxers. A light tint of red spread across her cheeks when she saw the other three women in the room. Her mind began running wild, making up possible scenarios that could have played out and ended with the four in the state they are right now. Are you alright, nurse-san? Naruto asked, noticing the nosebleed nurse Joy had. Why yes, I'm fine, the nurse Joy said, quickly wiping away her nosebleed. Okay, do you have a showers area that I could use? Naruto questioned. We have a unisex public shower room, standard for every poke center. The nurse Joy replied. On the bottom floor, head past the stairs and it should be on your right. If that's all, then have a nice day, thank you. Naruto said. The nurse Joy gave a small bow before closing the door. Naruto quickly gathered up all of his clothing that he could, which consisted of only his wristbands and boots. Arceus knows where his shirt had ended up before sneaking out of the room, fully intent on taking a shower. Belle mumbled, becoming the second person to wake up. She quietly exclaimed, taking note of her state of dress, rather the lack of. Belle glanced around the room, finding her fellow blonde was not currently present, but his jacket and pants were currently being used by Taco and En respectively. For reasons beyond her understanding, Belle felt a little bit jealous about the brunette and green-haired women. Melo, the familiar cry of the musical Pokémon quickly caught the busty blonde's attention. She pushed up off the bed to try and find where the cry came from, only to come face to face with the source. Meloetta. Melo it exclaimed, pecking Belle on the lips. Don't pass out, don't pass out, don't pass out. The Belle exclaimed, her mouth being muffled by the Meloetta quiet. Calm down will you? Everything is going to be fine. The Meloetta stated. Belle took a moment to calm down before nodding to the Meloetta. Yesh. You'd think that the blonde booby lady wouldn't be so freaked out by this. Geez, Naruto wasn't this panicky on his first try, Z mumbled. Why you can talk, Belle said. Yeah. And I can breathe too. And blink as well. Z said sarcastically. Listen, blonde booby lady, we can all talk. It's just that most humans can't understand us. But how can I understand you guys then? Belle asked. That's because of me. The Meloetta replied. I activated your aura by injecting you with my own via kiss. Aura? Belle questioned, causing the Meloetta to sigh in frustration. Look, there's too much to explain to you right now. I'll explain it to you later. The Meloetta stated later. Belle queried. Well of course. After all, the Meloetta said. I'm one of your Pokémon now. What? You mean? Belle muttered. Yep. The Meloetta exclaimed. Nice to meet ya. Name's Melody. Well, I'm not sure what to say, really, Belle said. I understand. It's a lot to take in. Melody said. Why not go take a shower? There's a shower room downstairs past the stairs. Yeah, that's a good idea, Belle murmured. But I don't really have any clothes to change into. Here. Catch. Z called out, kicking up a black t-shirt over to Belle, the busty blonde woman catching the article of clothing. This isn't my shirt. Belle stated. I know, that one's Naruto's. Z stated, causing Belle to blush. Better than nothing. Right, I'll be back when I'm done then. Belle said, pulling the black shirt over her head to cover her modesty and heading out the door. Do you think she knows that it's a unisex shower? Z questioned. Nope. Melody replied, a cheeky grin on its face. But Naruto. Hot steam shrouded the room as the only sound that kept silence at bay was the sound of running water. Naruto released a slow calm breath as scalding hot water cascaded down his body. In one of his very rare moments, the blonde allowed himself to relax. He allowed himself to just listen to the sound of the water as it lightly pelted against his scalp, dripping down and forcing the blonde to close his eyes. The clothing that he had gathered, including his eye patch, laying in one of the vacant lockers that were in the other room. Come on. Stay with me GHH I don't think. No. Why you promised I'm sorry, Naruto I. Just a little farther. Hold on. Then Naruto I'm not going to make it. I forgot to get you a gift, didn't I think I know the perfect one. And Nai-san please, take it so that, in some small way I'll live on. Happy birthday Naruto. The pair of mismatched eyes gazed back at Naruto from the reflection the draining waters gave. A constant reminder of the blonde's loss, of him. And Naruto-kun. A familiar voice broke the blonde of his stupor. Naruto turned around to find an equally naked Belle standing a few feet behind him. I thought you were still asleep, Belle-chan. Naruto stated. What are why you doing in here? Belle stuttered, unable to prevent her gaze from drifting downward. This is a unisex shower room. You knew that right? Naruto questioned. No, Belle mumbled, her face flushed red in a mixture of embarrassment, temperature, and perverse thoughts. Well, it is. Naruto said, turning his back to the busty blonde woman and continuing to cleanse his body. Belle walked over to the shower head next to Naruto, and awkward silence permeated the duo for a few minutes. So what's wrong with your left eye? Belle asked, breaking the silence with the most pressing question on her mind at the moment. What do you mean? Naruto asked, turning towards his fellow blonde. Why do you wear an eye patch? You don't seem to have anything wrong, Belle explained. My heterochromia isn't genetic. Naruto stated. Genetic? Belle questioned. I didn't have mismatched eyes at birth. About a year ago Naruto started, trailing off as dark memories surfaced in his mind. A year ago, what? Belle asked, slightly concerned when she observed the blonde man. They say that eyes are windows to the soul, and Naruto's held a multitude of emotions, the most prominent being guilt. A year ago, I lost someone close to me. Someone I looked up to as an older brother, Naruto said, closing his eyes and taking a deep breath. The same day as my birthday too, his dying wish was my present. Something that would make him live on through me. His eye. Belle said, her answer being confirmed by Naruto's nod. My body nearly rejected the transplant. The only reason that it didn't was because my aura stabilized it. Naruto explained. And now I have to channel aura constantly when it's open, otherwise my body will reject the eye transplant. You can use aura? Belle questioned. Every living thing has aura. Most humans only have enough aura to live, but there are some of us that have learned to harness it. Naruto stated. But could you teach me? Belle asked hesitantly. Teach you to use aura? What brought this request about? Naruto retorted. I was recently told about aura. And I wanted to learn more about it. Belle replied. Aura becomes harder to unlock with age, and your reserves won't be as large as they could be, Naruto said, covering his left eye and activating his aura, a thin, near-invisible shroud of blue energy surrounding him, and his right eye gaining a fiery gaze. You've unlocked your aura already. Very recently, it seems you were right about that, Belle said. Well, I don't know how much you'll be able to master, but I'll teach you the basics if you're willing. Naruto stated. Thank you, Naruto-kun. Naruto-sensei, Belle exclaimed. Naruto-kun is perfectly fine, Naruto commented, allowing a smile to grace his face. Later that day. Alrighty. Everyone on Team Ace ready? We're not Team Ace, it'll grow on you, Naruto-kun. Trust me. Right. Let's get going then. After a few hours, Taoko and En woke up and went through their daily morning routines. Which lead to where the four trainers were now. Are you sure you don't want to come and travel with us, En-chan? Taoko asked. I'd love to, but I can't. I have too many things that need my attention at the moment. En replied. That's a shame. I guess till we meet again, En. Belle said. Bye Taoko-chan. Bye Belle-san. Bye Naruto-kun. En exclaimed, waving to the three trainers and blowing a sultry kiss and winked to the blonde man as they left. En Sama, a new voice called out from the shadows. It's time to head back now. A second voice finished, the statement causing the green-haired woman to frown. I know, En murmured begrudgingly. I really did want to join them, you know. You also know that your duties come first, En Sama, third voice stated. Let's just go. I don't want to talk about this anymore, end stated. Chapter end. Chapter start. Unknown location, 1 week later. An icy wind danced through the air, freezing over the already winter-like landscape even more. This area was not one very traversed, rather, no one dared to traverse it. Countless stories and legends of people going into the frosty forest and never coming back had staved away many from even daring to leave their homes at night in a nearby town. A lone figure stood in the snow, defiant of the warnings she received from the residents of Lacunosa town. You cannot go. That forest is cursed. Legends tells of a terrifying monster that appeared from the sky. It would appear in the town at night along with cold winds and take away humans and Pokémon alike that stayed out after dark to eat them. And the worst part is the legends they're real. Good. Cerse's purple hair whipped around haphazardly in the chilled wind, her full body outfit thankfully protecting her from the majority of the extreme coldness. Vulpix Vol. Akane said, shivering slightly as the temperature was just enough to get past her natural fur coat warmth. Don't worry, Akane. We just need to do this one thing before taking shelter. Cerse stated, pulling out a small rectangular box that was around 6 inches in length and width and 12 inches in height with a small red button located in the top left corner. She cleared away a small patch of snow, pressing the red button and placing the strange device in the center of the snow-free patch of dirt. The box released a few beeps as it began to activate, splitting into 4 equal parts that shot out and embedded themselves in the ground. The 4 parts quickly decompacted into 4 long poles that shot upward. Vulpix Akane called out, shivering even more now. It's been done. We can go find shelter, Akane. Cerse said, picking up her fire-type companion and cradling her like a child. It will all be worth it in the end, Akane, she mumbled, walking down from the hill she was on, her back turned away as the metal box continued to decompact. After 2 minutes, the strange device stopped transforming, a green light at the base of it and a red flashing light at the top. Now all that was left to do was wait. With Naruto, Tauco, and Belle. Finally. It feels like we took so long to get here. Tauco exclaimed as they walked past a sign that said welcome to Striation City. The trio of trainers had spent the entirety of last week training and catching new Pokémon en route to. Tauco caught a female Patrat that she named Kiki, all the while training her other Pokémon as well. Belle had caught a male Purloin named James and, under the guidance of her fellow blonde trainer and Melody, begun her aura training. It was only meditation and learning to access her aura so far, but it was a start. And lastly, Naruto had not caught any Pokémon, focusing solely on training his own Pokémon and training Belle in the art of aura. It's only been a week, Tauco-chan. Besides, the training was worth it. Naruto stated. Staring down the street, the blonde man saw the sole reason that they were in this city, a large building that stood out amongst the others with a strange Pokeball-like symbol present. So how are we gonna do this? Gym or Pokémon Center first? Gym. Tauco replied, running towards the gym with a fiery determination in her eyes. Look out, world. I'm here to take on my first gym. She yelled, faltering as she entered the building. Welcome to the Butler Cafe, how may I help you? A young man asked. The man was quite tall, standing at 5'11" with green hair, green eyes, and light skin. He appeared to be wearing a waiter's outfit with a dark green tuxedo bow. Table for 3, please. Naruto called out calmly, walking in alongside Belle. Ah yes, right this way. The green-haired man said, grabbing 3 menus and gesturing for the trio of trainers to follow. Naruto-kun, what are you doing? Tauco questioned, slightly peeved that her gym battle would be delayed. None of us had breakfast, and it's 9 o'clock. Naruto stated. Depriving ourselves of the most important meal of the day wouldn't be a good idea. Naruto-kun's right. Plus, the gym isn't going anywhere. Belle added. Fine. Tauco sighed, hearing her own stomach grumble before she gave in to her friend's idea. Hi, my name is Silent and I'll be your waiter for today. Would you 3 need a minute to decide what drinks you would like? The green-haired man, Silent, asked. Can I get a coffee, please? Light and sweet. Belle asked. Same for me as well except decaf, please. Tauco said. Do you have any hot teas? Naruto questioned. Green, oolong, black, mate, and blooming. Silent replied. I'll take some green tea, then, please. Thank you. Naruto stated. Certainly. Silent said, walking away to retrieve their requested beverages and leaving the 3 trainers to study the menu. Where is the gym? I thought that this building was supposed to be it. Tauco asked after a few minutes of silence. It is. The gym also happens to be a cafe and the gym leader's waiters. Naruto stated. From what I've heard, you can't barge in asking for a battle, you've got to get a table first. Really? Tauco questioned. Really? Tauco jumped back slightly in surprise when she heard Silent's voice. Here are your drinks. 2 light and sweet coffees, 1 decaf, 1 regular, and a green tea. He said, placing down the 3 drinks and a cup of cream on the table. I do believe we're ready to order. Naruto said hesitantly, receiving nods of confirmation from Tauko and Belle. Yes, what would you three like? Silent asked, pulling out a small notepad and pen. I will have the avocado toasts with eggs and sriracha. Tauko stated. How would you like your eggs done? Silent questioned. Sunny side up, please. Tauko said. One avocado tes apostrophe sunny side up. Silent mumbled, writing down the order. I would like the buttermilk biscuits and mushroom gravy, eggs scrambled, please. Belle stated. Buttermilk B&M. Silent muttered as he wrote down what he said. And you sir? Yes, I will have the chocolate hazelnut fruit crepes. And Naruto started, gaining a hardened glint in his eyes. The Pokémon League Challenge. One choco hazel fruit crepes, and Silent paused when the blonde man's last words caught up with his brain. The Pokémon League Challenge, A for all three of us, yes. Naruto stated. The Pokémon League Challenge. Belle questioned. I must say, I am impressed. Not too many trainers figure out the codifiers hidden on the menu. How did you figure it out? Silent questioned. It was written in the description of the special of the day. Naruto replied. What? No way. It isn't. Tauko's voice trailed off as she read the text underneath special of the day, only to find her one-eyed blonde companion was right. Son of a bitch. She mumbled. It's how we weed out trainers who aren't ready or qualified to battle the gym. Most of them are hot-blooded and eager to battle, so much that they don't pick up on the small details. Silent stated. I ask that you three keep this to yourselves. The system has not failed to this day, since the codifiers hasn't been revealed by those who already know it very well. Naruto said, conceding to the green-haired man's terms. Alright. I'll be right back with your food and inform my brothers. Silent said before walking away. Oh, I can't wait. Tauko exclaimed. Our first gym battle. Don't spoil your appetite. Naruto commented, slowly taking a sip of his tea. Relax and enjoy breakfast for now, would you? Surprisingly enough, the three trainers did just that. Relax and enjoy morning's meal. F.A. Sonata. Maria shuffled around nervously in her chair, her heart beating a mile an hour. She tried to keep her composure, but couldn't help but feel nervous on the inside. She had changed out of her usual Unova police outfit in favor of a more casual one. Now she wore a light blue midriff shirt that had a Pokeball logo on the back, blue jeans that hugged her curves, and dark shoes. What if I screw this up? You can't screw this up, Maria. This is official business. Official, Maria thought, her mind suddenly going to the gutter as she thought of herself and Iruka in business attire and Maria-chan. Maria quickly regained her composure, wiping the blood away from her nose as Iruka approached her. The heterochromatic Jenny blushed and quickly averted her gaze from the scarred man. Iruka too had changed into more casual clothing, now wearing a dark red jacket, underneath which he wore a plain white shirt, dark pants, and dark shoes. Unbeknownst to her, Iruka faltered slightly in his steps as he saw Maria in all her beauty. He swiftly regained his footing, acting as if nothing happened. It's good to see you, Iruka said, stuttering slightly as he spoke. Why yeah, Maria said, her crush taking a seat in the chair opposite of her. So how have you been? It feels like forever since we last met. Iruka asked. I've been doing great. I got promoted to detective last month. Maria stated. What about you? Not much, really. Other than this whole spiel about one of the recent trainers. Iruka stated. Oh. Speaking of which, Maria said, pulling out a tan folder and placing it on the table. Naruto Uzumaki, quite the peculiar fellow. Peculiar? Iruka questioned. It says that he's from the Ori region, but something doesn't quite add up. Maria stated, a small frown marring her face as she opened up the folder. What do you mean? Iruka asked here. See for yourself. Maria replied, pulling out a single photograph. This was taken almost 6 months ago. She stated, handing the photo over to Iruka. It was a picture of 5 people, 4 of which Iruka could not identify. Going from left to right, the second person Iruka was nearly certain of was Naruto Uzumaki, standing in front of a purple-haired woman and shaking the hand of the third person, while the fourth and fifth person stood behind the third. What made his eyes widen, however, was the familiar notorious symbol present on the fourth and fifth person's outfits. A radar. Is that? Iruka muttered, looking to Maria for confirmation. His fears were proven true with the 2 words that she uttered not a second later. Team Rocket. With Naruto, Tauko, and Belle. The 3 trainers finally finished their meals and were whisked away by Silent to battle, much to the brunette woman's delight, to a large spatial room, nearly as large as the dining hall they were in moments ago, but otherwise vastly different. Small stalagmites of various girth littered the battlefield, and Tauko, Naruto, and Belle all stood off on one side, while Silent and his 2 brothers, Chili and Cerse, stood off in the opposite side. So Silent started. How would you 3 like this done? Chili, the red-haired brother, questioned. 1-on-1, Cerse, the blue-haired brother, started. Or 3-on-3, Silent finished, allowing the question to linger in the air for a good minute while the 3 trainers whispered among themselves. Sharing a few curt nods, Taoko stepped forward, acting as their spokesperson. We've decided. Chapter end. What if Naruto sent to Unova region Pokémon end here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.